Hello, my beautiful friends. How are you all? I just want to take a moment to say how grateful I am for each and every one of you. Literally, my heart is swelling today. I've had loads of emotion coming through, and it's all beautiful, it's all divine. But I just wanted to share how much I appreciate each and every one of you, every subscription, every like, every comment. I can feel the love, and I'm very, very grateful. And also, whatever you receive, whatever I share, it's for me to stay in integrity with myself, right? I'm never telling you what to do or what to think. Please exercise with all readings, all shares, all information. Exercise your own discernment. How does it feel in your body? You're not obligated to take anything as your own. Only take it on if it resonates with your truth. And I'm really here to bring keys, codes, activations, and mirror to spark that divine truth within yourself as a pathway back to personal truth and true self. Okay, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. This is all, life is all a huge practice, an opportunity for us to practice our own discernment right now. And that's what's key for all of us, because we're all very unique as to what's right for us and what isn't, what's true for us, 144, and what isn't. And this frequency, there's so much, there's a few different channels at the moment that are weaving and want to come through, so I don't know what this share exactly will be, but one thing that's been coming through really, really strong is this energy of truth, who we truly are, what's true for us. And then there's also a piece around, I can really feel the energy of the wayshower. Okay, it's like there are so many of you out there, as we all are, called to something new. It feels like we're being squeezed. Something that's inside of us that's new is being squeezed out of the old vessel. With this high frequency, there are many days where we might feel really physically pressured, or like the head wants to explode, pressure around the third eye, a feeling of real restlessness inside, literally like something wants to pop out, explode, implode. And I feel like all of us, right, are being squeezed to this next level of expression, next level of embodiment, next level of truth. What does that mean for us? And this could be multi-layered, right? It could be what it means for us to step forward in the world, but it could be, who are we in our family? Families can be very tricky ground to embody, to practice our embodiment of our new self, of somebody who doesn't pretend, comply, placate, and please everybody. So there's a lot of opportunities wherever we are, whether it's in the mundane or in more esoteric ways, in bigger ways, in more energetic ways, different spaces. It could be just these very intricate things that we have going on internally, and our relationships, who we are in relation to other people. We've been a certain way for so long. I mean, we're in the year of the snake, aren't we? And the shedding of the skin can be a difficult process. It can be a painful process. If you actually think about the physicality, the serpent, the snake, and all animals, right, their medicine, who they are in their essence and qualities, really is their medicine for a symbolic demonstration of that quality. And this kind of representation for what we go through, parts of our consciousness goes through, and what we can learn from them. A lot of us feel as if we're in a pause at the moment, and I actually did a reading the other day which was like, Divine Destiny, take a sacred pause. And then today I'm like needing to take that advice myself, right? Because there's so much rushing through and different things. It's like just pause. It's okay. There's nowhere to get to. You know, before the snake sheds an old skin, it becomes very uncomfortable in its skin. And then I believe it has to go. It takes itself off somewhere quiet. And there's a period of time just before the skin comes off where it can't move and it can't do anything. It's literally just waiting for that process. And it starts to rub a bit off, and eventually it will come. And when it first emerges with this new vulnerable sort of underbelly, there's a period of time where it has to acclimatize to that, and it's still kind of forming, and then it comes out anew. And I feel like a lot of us are in this middle phase where we're not the old, but we're not quite the new. Spirit wishes to speak into the fear that this can bring up, because it's like fear of the unknown, isn't it? Even if we're really excited about something happening, even if we have consciously asked for it, created it, manifested it, brought it in, it's suddenly here. And there's a part of us that's like, whoa, whoa. What is that? You know, what's going to happen? Who am I there? We just don't know what it looks like, right? And this is firing off quite a lot in the nervous system at the moment. So again, we come home to the mother and the earth, which literally feels like the only comfort, resource and way to transmute that kind of unknownness within. Somehow she brings us home just in each moment so that we can then kind of take a breath, remind ourselves who we are, remind ourselves that this is what we're doing, and we're like, okay. I want to speak to the Wayshowers, and I already am, right? I already am. If you're listening to this channel, if you're drawn to content like this, you're an awakening soul. You're a game changer. You're an intuitive. You're a sensitive. You're a leader. You're a wayshower. Sometimes we can shy from that when we don't fully own it. So there is a piece around owning power. Again, it's like authority, a sense of our true authority, anchoring in, acknowledging and owning the role that it is that we're being asked to take. Now, at this moment in time space, that's starting to take a form. We can't really tangibly, some of us can't always grasp all of that. It's more a sense or a sensation, but the world is changing. The world is catching up. Timelines are converging. It's like everything's falling away. The old is collapsing. The new is present. We can feel it more. It's pulling. That's what the squeeze is. It's pulling out of us who we be in this new world. It's pulling it out of us, but purely by this inner primal serpent-like instinct that's feeling so uncomfortable. It just wants to scratch off the old and pop out, but we have to go through the process, because a lot's happening in this process. So there's many of you, I can feel many of you who have this profile. You're a chosen one. You're a wayshower. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't have these feelings, and you wouldn't have had your whole life with messages and senses and synchronicities and signs and everything weaving in. And now suddenly it's all starting to make more sense, but we're not fully there yet. And I can feel a lot of part of the old responses that we can have to this process, such as the fear, for example, But another response is almost like a denial of who it is that we actually know ourselves to be. So even if we fight it, we know deep down that we are this change maker, this way shower. Even just within the unit of our own family, this is what we've always been, or maybe within friendship groups. So look back over your life. We've always been the ones that we're sitting in a room of people and we see something going on. We feel something going on. We feel the subtleties. We know when people are being slyly bullied and dug out, and the little things that other people pass off as harmless or don't even notice it at all. We see and feel everything, and we're like, right, we're the ones. We're the ones that end up standing up for people, speaking out, making a comment, changing the energy at that moment. Or we may just think this and get up and leave. Whatever it is, we are the ones that change the energy. We're the ones that break into that programmed, conditioned old play out. We're the ones that speak out, stand up for people, stand up for what's right. So it may have always been that way in your friendship groups, in your family. So you kind of know, that this is the case, right? You know it. But then our human wants to belong. Our human wants to be understood. And it's natural to look to our family, particularly for somebody to understand us, and many of us have great relationships with family, or at least one person who kind of gets it, but many of us haven't either. And for a long time, we naturally look for some type of validation or understanding. But Spirit's showing me very clearly that the template of the way shower is one that walks alone. Not forever, but initially. By definition, if you show the way, you pave the way, then you create that pathway ahead of others. That's your role. In that room full of people, for example, where the old banter's going on and no one really knows any better or different, once you and your loving, your angelic presence, your witness, your seeing, cuts into that energy with the energy of truth, with the energy of justice and protection, for example, it shows a different way to everybody else in that room. It creates a different pathway, a new pathway in that moment. It changes the energy. Something else becomes available. And sometimes in those situations, you will find that another person then goes, yeah, actually, that was out of order, or, but they didn't have the courage in the first place to take that stand, because that's what you do. That's what you're here for. When we pan this out and we relate it to our place in the world and, the potential really of what we are here to pave and path, the way that we are here to path and show. Yeah, Spirit's showing me almost like a panic feeling. It's like, it feels like a burden, or what am I supposed to do? Again, it feels like, the mind running ahead. I'm seeing like someone running. I don't know, it's either running from that role or running from something, some aspect of it. Show me. Yeah, because it's a misunderstanding. It's an underestimation of the truth of who you are. It's a denial, is the word that I'm receiving. And it's okay to be scared. You know, a lot of us have a deeper fear of our own success and our light than we do of failure. It's okay to be scared. But what Spirit's saying is that when you fully understand what that role is and what a gift, it's absolutely divine, it's genius, it's what this world has always been brought forward with these souls, by these souls that have the ability to see things that others don't, and therefore create a new pathway. That's a role for the expansion of humanity, of humanity's consciousness. And you don't, there's a really warm, loving energy that's flooding through now. It's just like, you don't need to worry about how. And you don't need to worry whether you will be okay, because once you disentangle yourself from, I'm hearing lower, but it's not lower, it's 3D consciousness that belongs with each other. No one wants to stand out. No one wants to be that person. In 3D consciousness and in the herd mentality, nobody breaks out of that. That's the whole point. And there is a familiar sense of belonging and a distorted sense of safety within that. But it's just safety in the familiar. It's not true safety. It's, I know who I am there. So it brings us that, oh, okay, better not stand out, better not rock the boat, better not make anybody unhappy, better keep the peace that isn't a peace anyway. It's a false peace. It's a false sense of security, peace, safety. So what's coming forward here is that if you're having any fear, hesitation, denial, and like this sense of, can't I just stop, or can't I just go back, or fuck this, I don't know what I'm supposed to do and who I'm supposed to be. Spirit's saying, just come into yourself and really examine who you already are. It's who you already are. And when we don't bypass that, and we come into the heart with that, and we understand that that's, I'm hearing a tone, like your frequency, your signature frequency, it's like a tone, a resonance in this world, which is perfectly designed. It's what you were designed to be and share in this world. And it's just the mind that wants to know how that's going to look. You're human. Spirit wants to comfort your human here. And just give a message that your human will feel in this unfamiliar territory. It'd almost be weird if it felt comfortable, because it's totally unknown to us. Yes, we know ourselves in this disempowered small version of the expression of light, gifts and magic, because it hasn't had an opportunity to take up space in this world. So how could we possibly know what that looks like yet? But yet there's this huge fear and reaction coming up around it. So to kind of, you know, someone was saying the other week, like there's a lot of talk about resourcing the nervous system for safety, and that is very valid. And while we do need to work through that, especially as women, we need to begin the journey to heal the nervous system. But then she also said, we get to a point where we have to feel the fear and do it anyway. Like, this stuff is going to bring fear up. It's going to make us uncomfortable because it's all new. So it's like this real need to ground into who it is that I am, what it is that I naturally do and offer. This aspect of you, your soul's expression, which paves a way for other people. You naturally demonstrate a good example to others. You naturally hold a safe space. You naturally speak up. So it's all natural. It's innate. You don't need to think about it. And you certainly don't need to worry about or question how that's going to look in the new earth. Like, oh, it's only this, it's only that, it's only me. It's not only anything. It's a superpower. But you've got to know that the whole lifetime that you've had of feeling different and sometimes not belonging and desperately wanting to be understood, it's natural. It's a soul's desire and need for that true oneness that is the state of perfect existence that already is, but humans are in this illusion of separation. You are the one who has to go first. You are the one who understands. So try to realize that by definition and by very nature of who you are, you're not going to be in the herd. You're not going to be in the belonging of the group mentality and the group approval. Can you find within yourself your own approval? Can you approve of yourself? Can you understand yourself? Not that we do completely. I mean, there's so many things to kind of grasp. I mean, do we ever fully understand ourselves? But are you willing to surrender the expectations to the others and own the role that you have of leader, of showing the way for others? And once you own that as you and as your true identity, and release the attachments to how that affects others, what they think of it, then actually what will happen is you vibrate at that frequency of self-leadership and self-ownership and autonomy in that way, and then you attract others to form relationships with, to have partnerships and collaborations with, who are also in the same role as you, who possess the same qualities. So you're going to have more matched experiences in relationships and more matched opportunities to belong with others who actually see you, appreciate you, and who have similar skills and innate gifts. So, yeah, the understanding that you seek and the validation, it's like an old world part that it's trying to hook into the future identity with the old one. That's what it feels like. So it's like just moving it out of the way, and also a lot of compassion for self. I've also had to bring up a lot of compassion for myself. The last couple of days I've been reflecting on the amount of spaces in my life where I've enabled and self-abandoned. And I can feel that energy that could potentially create of rumination, regret, questioning ourselves. Should I have done something different? All of this kind of tussle that we put ourselves through. When really just to have compassion for every version of ourselves and understand that if we can do that in the present moment, we're actually rewriting that past. If we stick in this energy when we are feeling the past in the moment, or going over some type of memory, for example, or an experience, if we're still looking at it, perceiving it, or holding on to it with an energy of trying to change it, fix it, force it, question, doubt ourselves. We're keeping those memories in that way. In other words, we're holding that frequency when really if we could just be able to look and say, do you know what? I did the best that I could. I did the best that I could at the time. And you know what? Even if I did make mistakes or I could have done it better or I completely fucked it up, so what? It's not the end of the world. Like, we've come here to experience life. We're not going to do that fully by never making mistakes. For a lot of us, it's hard to forgive the fact that we've kept ourselves so small for so long, that we've been such a dumbed down, mousy version of ourselves, you know, and almost afraid to take up space. You know, there's a part of us sometimes that needs to forgive ourselves there, because the inner critic can direct itself at the past just as much as what we are or not doing right in this moment. So compassion is an energy directed in any way, which is only ever going to alchemize and bring a deeper understanding for self. Because no one else is responsible for understanding us in that way. Especially when we are different. We are starseeds. We have higher consciousness. We have access to higher consciousness, to different levels of consciousness. We see things that others don't. So by definition, we're never going to be understood by most people around us. So there's a kind of invitation here to release the attachment to that. You don't need to grasp after something that isn't there anyway. You can bring deeper compassion and understanding to yourself and those around you through that. That's it for today. But I'm sending you so much love. And just knowing as well that it doesn't matter who we are, how long we've been on this path, or anything necessarily. The only thing that matters is who we truly are today, and whether we are bringing the surrender required, whether we can let go of the resistance to the squeezing, let go of the resistance to a new action, a new conversation, let go of the attachment to our identity of the past and the confusion and the questions and the cycling over. We get to the point where you can actually drive yourself mad with all that stuff. And, you know, if you do get to that point, which I've been at myself, you literally, it comes to a clear space of choice, and you're like, if I carry on like this, I'm literally going to lose my mind, and I'm certainly sabotaging my life. So it's like we have a choice as to what we are loyal to, what we choose to put weight on. It doesn't mean that thoughts are suddenly going to disappear. It doesn't mean things are suddenly going to change. It doesn't mean there's a quick fix or just a button we can switch and everything's great. It means that we are suddenly acknowledging that we are the ones who can bring forward, pull out this new perspective from ourselves that will show ourselves a new way. We can pull out this magic that we have within us, this innate sense that's always there. It doesn't matter how upset we are, how many things are happening, or how much we've got triggered or pulled into the past or off course. If you stop, pause, take a break, breathe, and connect with your inner core of your being and come out of your mind, there will be a new space there. There will be a different response there. There will be a solution somewhere, even if it's just a step-by-step breadcrumb way out of the darkness. You don't have to jump from the pit, you know, hell to heaven, essentially, in your thoughts immediately. It's just finding that little adjustment, a higher feeling thought each time. And then before you know it, you're not there anymore. But there's something about releasing identification. Big one at the moment, right? Releasing identification with all that's been. I love you so much. Magical beings, way showers, star seeds, whatever you call yourself or we call ourselves, or whatever terminology we use. We all know what we're talking about. And each message, each reading, each call is a nudge in some way or the other into the knowledge, owning and embodiment of your own authority. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Until next time.